Yay, we're live. Pop in, say hi, let me know where you're from. I'm just getting myself sorted out here too. I'm getting pretty good at this Sunday night, right? All I have to do is come in, hit that button, and off we go. We're on for an hour and a half today. We're going to see who our head moderators are going to be. Usually Andrew's in here first, but yeah, I've been getting some surprises lately, right? We've had a few new subscribers that have been popping in on Sunday nights and hanging out with us lately. And I've been following along in the conversations, even though sometimes those conversations get way beyond me. Like I get yapping and I try to jump in into a conversation, and it's easy to get lost because, yeah, my followers, they yap more than I do on the norm. But like I said, when you pop in, say hi, let me know where you're from. And yeah, happy Sunday, everybody. For me, one more day off. I've had the entire week off. One of the girls at my work got diagnosed with the coronavirus, so they had to shut the store down, and we all had to go in and get tested to make sure that we were all okay. We just got the new schedule, but as it is, I've lost an entire week of pay. I'm not quite sure how we're going to swing it. I'm hoping. Hoping isn't a good word because I can tell I'm a pretty good calculator in my brain. Like I pretty know how much is coming into my household, and I understand that I'm going to have to find some pretty good scores at work, or you know what, next month is going to be pretty tight, right? I can set these goals out for myself and I could work towards them, but there are always obstacles. They're always just like everybody. I mean, you can go to work and get a flat tire, and that flat tire could cost you $60 to repair, right? More if you have to have the whole tire replaced. So, I'm not there yet. I'm not at the point where I could put a little bit of emergency funds away. I sure would love to start paying myself 10% or 20% every month of my wage and put that away. As it is now, I am sort of I feel like I'm saving money, even though I don't see that money, right? Because I'm buying little doodads and things at work, and we're selling them, right? And I've got a little stockpile of cash put away for myself, right? But that's money that's supposed to be going towards the car, right? I have a few goals this year. I have a few goals, and they're big goals. They're big goals, but I don't think they're unmanageable. They're not something that I can't bring into reality if I really put my mind to it, right? And yeah, it's been a struggle, but I don't expect anything less, right? Every time that things get rough with me from now on, right? From now on, I'm just going to look back at the year I had, the past year, right? That I had one of the scariest, saddest, pitiful. But at the same time, it was exciting, right? I was learning lots of things and my mind was expanding. And I'm very, very grateful, that I was able to get into some mentorship programs and able to get a full-time job, right? I've been working full-time the entire span of the coronavirus, which I'm very grateful for because I know that most people lost their jobs or went down to very minimum income coming into the households during this time, right? Everybody got hit, and it's not over yet. It's not over yet. If history is repeating itself, we're in for a bit of a recession. And, being as conscious as this world has become, because I think in truth, everybody is conscious to some point, right? That there's going to be some struggles, a little bit of, fighting for rights. And we've seen a little bit of it this year. We're going to hear some more voices out there, letting us know exactly what's going on with the situations of the world. That's, yeah, I think we're going to be in for a few years at the very least. It's going to be a real struggle. And there's certain thoughts that cross my mind, right? There are certain thoughts that cross my mind. And when they cross my mind like that on a consistent basis, I'm not saying like I'm compulsively thinking about it, but once a week or once every couple of weeks, a thought will pop into my head, right? And I go, why did that pop into my head? Again, right? Again. And let me turn my speakers down, notifications, but we're used to this every week, aren't we? Yeah, so and I wonder why these things keep repeating in my life. And it's because there's a reason. It's because, and one of these things I'll say right now is the thought, and I've had conversations with other people about this thought that has popped into my mind on a consistent basis. Let me see who's here, or maybe should I get this off my mind before I lose train of thought? Yeah, maybe I will. I've been thinking about, how we pass down our skills, from father to son, from mother to daughter, whether it was cooking, sewing, crocheting, working on the garage, working on cars, learning to do a little bit of woodwork, house repairs, right? Taking the kids fishing. These are all skills that if the world were to crash, and it could, right? That's why I'm talking about this right now, that these are skills that would be highly needed and appreciated within the communities if the members knew how to do them. Like here in Manitoba, the Hutterite colonies, how dressmaking is passed on from mother to daughter, right? Even in my own family, with me growing up as a child, my mother and me not getting along great, but her allowing me to stand next to her and do little things that would help in the preparation of dinner or desserts, or right, a little bit of baking bread, getting ready for the week, learning a little bit about budgeting for groceries and stuff. We had 6 members in our family, my mom, my dad, and my 3 sisters, and there were 6 of us, right? So, and my dad was a compulsive gambler, so my mom had to be very creative when it came to making meals and making sure we were all fed and we all had lunches to go to school. And it wasn't hard. They didn't have a lot of money. I lived on butter and sugar sandwiches. My dad, very rarely would my dad allow margarine into the household. He was all about real butter. He loved real butter. But yeah, so that was the thought, and when these kind of thoughts kind of come into my head all the time, there's a reason for that. And, and I'm thinking about it. And, everything that I'm thinking about is leading to the same thing, that we're in for some struggles, right? We're going to be ending up having some struggles when it comes to putting food on the table, right? Putting a roof over our heads. And then on top of doing all that, having the stresses of looking for employment and dealing with changes in the government and the way things are run and expectations, and actually, knowing that machines are taking a lot of our jobs, and with this coronavirus shutting everything down, innovation is going to be going on like crazy, like innovation, and things will be moving fast. And what's going to be moving fast is people out the door, because machines are going to be taking a lot of these jobs, right? And so there's going to be a lot of stress, a lot of worry, a lot of hairy, scary, right? But these are your families, and these things that we passed on from, like I said, mother to daughter, father to son, right? These skills will not only save money, but you know what? It might be the way that you barter moving forward, right? Maybe we'll be going back into a day and age where we barter to get what we need, to put the roof over our heads, to put the groceries on the tables, right? I'll be working online. I'm with the entrepreneurs. I'm not worried. I trust that at the very bare minimum, I'm going to have what I need to get by, right? But there are lots of people who don't have that mindset, right? Probably even some of my followers here and stuff aren't quite there yet, but I do have followers here that do know how important mindset is and how important it is to pass knowledge down. And that's all that it is when you pass your skills and pass that knowledge on, right? We think that the day and age is changing so fast that these are skills that we aren't going to need, that we can live on. Skip the dishes, right? Skip the dishes and we won't need to cook anymore, right? We won't need how to learn to cook today. But financially, when it comes to survival, if it gets to the point of putting groceries in the cupboard and giving up your phone, right? Yeah. You'll see how fast those gardens show up in the backyards of people's homes when they figure out that they're going to have to give up their phones. They're going to have to give up their lifelines to the rest of the world and become a part of their small community of their neighborhoods, right? Things change, right? We have to be able, I always say, like, you got to be like an elastic band, right? And just be able to stretch and move with whatever problems arise in the world, right? And that's what life is all about, right? This, it's never going to change. If it's not going to be one problem, it's going to be another problem. We're always going to be out there trying to overcome and achieve in something, aren't we? Okay, let me see who's in here. Let's check out some of the first. Like I told you guys how much my crew they like to yap. We have got chatters here on this channel, right? And I keep inviting my followers on Instagram to come and hang out with us here because I know you guys. Wow, Melvin made it in first today. Holy no moly. Rainy Chinook here. Oh, you know what? It's all dark and dreary here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. If you don't know where I am and you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Cindy. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Sunday nights we get together. We do a live show. We've been supporting each other during the course of the coronavirus, not just emotionally, financially, right? Being friends with each other, giving each other advice, right? We got some smart people here, like people who have had experiences in their life where the situation that we're sitting in right now is almost relatable to the experiences that they have. So they have a great amount of experience. And, if you have your questions, if you have worries, if you're looking to jump into the conversation, these are some great people that I have here. Think Rubicon. I am thinking Rubicon, Melvin. I'm thinking my Jeep Rubicon. I think of it every single day, and I still think of the Rubicon, even though I would be grateful for the Beverly Hillbillies truck right now, right? And that truck, that sputtering black gassy, right? With Granny sitting on the top of the truck with her walking chair. Is that rocking chair? With her rocking chair. I would be happy for that. I would be grateful for that. But yes, I do think of my Jeep Rubicon, and I think of it every day. I'm manifesting it. I swear, it might be the year 2041 and not 2021 when I get my Jeep Rubicon, but I'm getting my Jeep Rubicon Wrangler Unlimited, big bull tires, right? Great big bull bars on the front of it, great lighting. And it's not to be greedy, it's not to show off, but I figure if you're going to have that vehicle anyway, and it is a great off-the-road vehicle, there isn't many. I could take that vehicle anywhere. Some of those deer trails that I used to explore, when Cindy would go into a forest and go for a forest walk, and I would just look for the first deer trail, and I would just start walking the deer trails, and I would just take off, and I would just get myself lost, right? So I've been thinking, yeah, Melvin, I have been thinking about it, right? Because, well, spring's here, summer's coming. My air conditioner is hooked up. I actually just turned the air conditioner off just now so that I could do the live show tonight, right? Oh, look, an Angry Birds fan is here too. That's some conversation that this gentleman, he puts out there, right? But, I'm starting to understand it, but I have to consistently see it repeatedly. And then I see how it relates to the conversations we're having. And it actually, it does make sense after a while. And I appreciate the effort. I appreciate that everybody feels welcome and that everybody is contributing to the conversation. What's the idea there? Tell us your idea there. Rotating klaxon Secomax. CSX. See what I'm saying? Like sometimes I don't get it, but you pay attention to it in your off eye during the course of the live, and by the end of the live, it all makes sense. And you know what? You could also even consider it like almost like a game too, right? To get in there and see if you can, right, figure out what he's saying, because these are actual words and actual numbers, and right. And I'm assuming maybe it's military, maybe it's flight, maybe it's like helicopters or something like that, right? Who knows? But I find it's very interesting, and I love that everybody contributes to the conversation. I sure do have a lot of earthenware, don't I? I have tons of earthenware. I really love it all. It's going to be for a big sale. I'm going to have a big sale. Me and my sister are going to rent a table. I'm going to sell crystals. I'm going to sell my earthenware. We might even open up a store. I was thinking of calling it earthenware, right? Whereas in wearing clothes, right? It would be kind of interesting and have clothes and earthenware and things that go with Mother Nature and stuff, because these are all things that I can pick up from work. And these are a lot of things that I have right now that I could actually put towards the pool of stock for the store if I were to open up, right? And I suspect, they say that real estate is doing really, really well right now. They say I don't know how that's possible. Like, where's the money coming from, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. It just doesn't appear like that, right? Like, who's affording to be able to go out there and buy new homes and stuff right now? Like, it doesn't make sense to me in any way like that. Oh, now, what were your thoughts on that? I don't want to put you on the spot, Andrew, but what were your thoughts on the vaccination? Just to let everybody know out there, 11:30 tomorrow morning, I'll be getting my vaccination. My appointment has finally come up. It took a couple of weeks for me to get in, but I'm getting my shot. I'm getting the Pfizer is what they're giving me. I don't know if anybody's heard anything about that vaccine, if it's a good one or not, but yeah, it looks like I'm getting Pfizer, and yeah, my shot is tomorrow. My vaccination is tomorrow, so I'm going to be feeling good about going back to work next week. But I have to remember, right, that even though I'm vaccinated, that doesn't mean that I can't touch a dirty surface and pass those germs on to other people. So, I still have to follow the rules. Right? And that's, and the people say that they have the right, not to put anybody on, because I know on my channel too that people have different opinions. Some will be getting the vaccine, some won't be getting the vaccine. So I try to have these conversations without being judgmental, right? But they say, this is my life, right? I should be able to choose whether or not to have the vaccine. There's a large part of the population that don't even like to give the babies their vaccines, right, when they're born and stuff. So, there are lots of people out there who have trepidations about the vaccine. But my understanding is the fact that if you're not going to have the vaccine, you should be very vocal to take all the responsibility, to take the guilt, to take the shame that people will wear right? If you should get sick, if you should end up intensive care unit and you're fighting for your life, right? Because somebody who did take the vaccine still got you sick, right? Still passed those germs on to you. I'm a true believer in cause and effect, right? So even though I do have my vaccine, I'll still be playing that safe game. So safe if it doesn't get better that I'll actually even move out of the city, right, to achieve that. And who's to say that they're playing anything? Because people have the right to feel the way they do. But when you involve other people, as long as it doesn't hurt other people, right? And this is the way I feel about sex and politics and things that I don't understand and topics that I don't put my feet and my fingers into, right? That I figured as long as it doesn't negatively affect other people, that people should be able to seek out what they want, believe in what they want, right? Believe in what they want, and to have a say in their own life, especially their own body, right? But because I believe in cause and effect, because I believe that somebody who's not taking the vaccine is putting me in a position where I might cause somebody to get ill, that I might cause somebody, that I might touch something dirty and germy, and somebody might get the coronavirus and end up in the hospital, right? Because they didn't take their vaccine, because they made that choice not to have their vaccine. So that's my only concern about it, because I am a true believer that you should have every right to make the choices about what's going on with your life, your body, whether to see, like even the Hutterites, they don't believe in hospitals and doctors and stuff, right? But they're making hard decisions and they're being forced to make those decisions. And when this is all over, they'll still be making decisions like that, right? So everybody has the right, for themselves, for their family, for their community, if they're right. If the kids are underage, I think once the kids are old enough to make decisions, those decisions should be allowed to be made by the kids, right? Right? Yeah. Okay. So that's all I've got to say. That's all I've got to say about the cause and effect kind of aspect of why I think it's important for people to have the vaccines. And if you choose not to have the vaccine, be very vocal that, you don't want it to be held against anybody's beliefs if they should be the person that got you sick. That if you got sick, that was a choice that you made, and nobody should feel bad because you did get sick. And that's all I'm going to say about that, right? Because it is a touchy subject. It is a touchy subject for lots of people. But I wanted people to know where I stand on that, right? And I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that people, even if they have these understandings, that's all I said about it in here. I keep going, that they even have these misgivings about having the vaccine, right? They're I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to have the vaccine, but I'm going to do it, right? That takes courage. That's really brave. And that shows some real insights that, you're willing to overcome your own fears or your own limiting beliefs, right? That you understand the way you feel is probably a limiting beliefs, and you're willing to go. My dad, and I was thinking about this morning too, that my dad, he was always a true believer in majority rules, except when it came to hockey games. Because if it was hockey night in Canada, right? He had his wife, he had his 4 daughters. He knew none of us liked hockey, right? So majority ruled in our household, unless it came down to hockey. And if it came down to hockey, my dad was king of the castle, and that was his, he's laying down the wand. This is the way it's going to be, right? But majority rules, I think, is a good way to resolve issues, right? To make it fair. You're never going to please absolutely everybody. There's always going to be a certain amount of people that are going to be against things, your ideas, your thoughts, right? But if you live by majority rules, at the very least, if somebody puts out, right, like the president makes a big decision, but he's making that decision from a broken heart because his mother just died, right? And he's not thinking properly or something, right? So he makes this big decision. He shouldn't be allowed to make a decision just because it's through his emotions and it's something personal. It's not something he's really thought through, right? But then it runs through his government, and his government says, no, we can't allow that. We can't allow that. Take a few days. You'll think differently in a few days, and he gets shut down because the majority said no, right? And it kind of keeps things fair, right? And it always gives everybody insight as to what is the percentage that is agreeable and what is the percentage that is not agreeable, right? That part that's not agreeable, are there different ideas in those agreements? So should we be looking at those disagreements separately, or are they tight in there and resolute that they're against this idea, and they're against this idea for the exact same reason? So that carries a different strength. And I don't know why I'm getting into this conversation, right? Let's get off it. Let's just take a look at some of the comments here and say hi. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Owen. Hi, Angry Birds, right? Kathy's here too. Hi, Kathy, dear. Hi, Kathy. Hope everything is going good. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I do a lot of mindset and mindfulness over on Instagram. I really work in emotions. I've been doing a lot of studying and stuff. And I know my YouTube channel, I like to delve into the explore. So I don't delve so much. I keep it more like an open conversation. And we talk about important subjects here too. But I don't delve into what I believe is truly what I meant to be doing is right, helping people in resolving limiting beliefs, working with their emotions, right? Because of my beliefs in evolution and stuff. And I teach a lot about, riding the waves, right? Because that's what it is. I mean, if you believe in some of the ideas that I have, and it's a long process, right? We're here forever, and it's a long journey. Evolution is a long journey. It's something that I strive through, and emotions get pretty wiry sometimes during the process, right? So I like to take in topics myself on emotional intelligence and post-traumatic stress disorder, complex trauma, because again, if you've been with me for any length of time, I've come from a very dynamic family and have grown up with a lot of personal issues that have molded me into person that I am today, and that it's taken a few years for me to overcome some of these limiting beliefs, right? And to make these new discoveries and give myself new opportunities for my future, right? And at the same time, it's helped me to hold on to this brand, to keep a hold on to this community that I have here on Sunday nights, that even though that I don't have my car anymore, my Rubicon, right, that I'm not out on the back roads exploring, we are still together every Sunday night. We're still hanging out together, right? We're still, it's a little bit different experience, right? It's a little bit different experience. It's not an outdoor adventure, but it's not forever either. Just like this coronavirus, things will loosen up for me too. Those grips in all of our lives, those grips will loosen up a little bit. And we'll be out there. We will be exploring. I will be moving my brand forward, not just emotionally because I need that, but this is my brand. I expect at some point down the road that this will be the way that I make my living, right? and it will expand. It's a long process, you guys. And for those of you who've been with me, you've been with me for what, 6 years now, 7 years. I've been on YouTube for almost 7 years now. That's a long, long time. And things have changed since I've been here. All of you have changed too. And I can see for the better, even though we have had life challenges, haven't we? All of us have during these past few years. And, that's one of the things that I love about this channel, that we can just all get together. Let me have a sip. That we can just get together on Sunday nights and chit chat, relax, remind ourselves that we're human, right? That we're still kicking, we're still here, right? And we have every right to be. And we have this platform, right, to feel each other out, people who have almost the same mindset and stuff here, that we can have these conversations. I like it. I like it lots. I like the crew I have here. I yap about you guys all the time on Instagram. And you know what? I think I talk every once in a while about my followers. They're different, right? They're not different. They're not different. It's just here we are working more, right? We're working more towards getting back on the road, getting the adventures back in. But I want to make sure that I blend in the mindset, right? That I blend in that everything is going to be okay. We blend in those things, that we calm down our anxieties, the things that make us feel crappy about our lives, right? The things that we can't control, and get back. That was the whole reason why I started my YouTube channel, right? Because I was out in those fields. I was exploring those abandoned farms and those abandoned houses, and I was having such a great time. It was amazing, right? The way I had Mother Nature just all to myself. I could go camping. I could go be sitting along rivers. I could be walking through old abandoned fields. I could be exploring history, touring a home that somebody had lived in like over 100 years ago. Like, it was so exciting, not just for me, but I knew it would be exciting for people to watch out there too, right? And that was the idea. But yeah, again, life changes, right? The rules change. And yeah, we adapt, we conquer, and we sure have adapt and conquer, because yeah, we haven't missed a Sunday in years now, have we, guys? We have been here every single Sunday, even on those days, right, when I had my hydro cut off and I was warming myself up with the toaster underneath the blanket. Yes, that happened to me this past year, right? But life is getting a little bit better. Life is getting a little bit better, but it's not going to get better for everybody, right? So we just have to watch out for our neighbors, watch out for our friends, watch out for our family, right? Make sure that everybody's doing okay. Help where we can help, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see what's going on with everybody. Yeah, Nancy, trying to keep, with me, I went over my data this month too. I don't even want to see what my phone bill is going to be like, right? But I learned my lesson, and yeah, I did all my live shows on Instagram last month, and for the better part of the month, I didn't have my Wi-Fi on, so I paid for all my data last month. But it is what it is, right? We're going back into that same, right? It's different problems, but it's still problems. And, no matter what, we're always going to be having to work around things, work through things, right? And that's what moving forward is all about, right? even in this moment. Oh, Andrew, I didn't show you. Remember I told you I had a present that I wanted to send to you? I got it right here. I love these. Take a look. I didn't make these for you, but I found these at work. I got 2 of them. They're signed. Somebody put a lot of work into them. They're signed, but the signature isn't very clear. Where is that signature? Maybe it's on this one. They're signed pieces anyway, but I couldn't find the artist. But I don't need 2 Mother Marys, right? I don't need 2 Mother Marys and Jesuses, because that's what that is, right? That's what that is. So I'm going to keep one for myself, and it's going to go on my Mother Nature wall with my Buddhas and my fairies and my turtles and my frogs and my totems and my ducks. And and then the other one I am sending off to you, Andrew. Do you like it? Do you like it? Handmade. Look at all that wood, right? All painted and shellacked. It looked like work somebody had done maybe in the 70s, maybe a little bit earlier. It looks very Picasso. Picasso. Doesn't it? I really love them, and I thought of you, Andrew, when I got these. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up, and I'm gonna mail it to you, and hopefully it brings you a little bit of joy while it's hanging on the wall. I'm just deleting all these notifications here so I could read the comments here, and yeah, do you like it? I think they're beautiful. Otherwise, I wouldn't say I want to keep one too, right? I want to keep one too. You could see the wood is a little bit different, right? You could see the color of the wood. It looks like there's some teak in there. Looks like maybe some bamboo and some cedar. Yeah, it's kind of neat, right? Maybe a little bit of woodwork. Maybe it's all applied. I don't know. But yeah, maybe you'll be able to find some information. They are signed. I don't know why I can't see the signature on that one. I can see the signature on this one really clearly, right down at the bottom there. It's signed right there, right? But yeah, I can't figure them out. But it's not the value, right? It's just the idea. It was like Mother Mary and the baby, right? Baby Jesus, that I thought of you, Andrew, and I thought this might be something that you would appreciate, right? A little bit of art. So yeah, I got that for you, Andrew. As soon as I got a little bit of extra money, we're going to be tight. I had the whole week off of work this week. It's going to hurt on a paycheck. And you know what? My own fault, right? I should have had a little bit. Well, I do have money saved, right? But that money is towards my car. But, I'm just going to play it by ear. However I feel needs to be done, that's what I'm going to do, right? I'm trusting that everything is going to be okay. If the car is in the plans, and it is, I'm manifesting it, right? Car's in the plans. And my trip, I'm going on a trip. I'm not sure if I'm going in October or if I'm going in April. She was saying something about April. But yeah, Andrew, but it's all wood. It's all made with wood. See? That's what I was thinking. We had a discussion, me and Andrew. And I think we were kind of right in our assumptions on our conversations here. But yeah, I hope you like it, Andrew. I was just thinking of you when I just got them back. They were in my sister's place, and I just asked her for them if I could have them back, and she gave them to me. But I will send you one back as soon as I can. That won't be expensive. That I could just be able to throw it in an envelope, and that will cost me, I'm sure it'll cost me under $10 to send off. I still have Owen's walking stick here. Oh, and I still have your walking stick, but your walking stick is going to cost me $50. And it just, and I'm not saying it to be mean or anything, but $50. Oh my goodness. Right. If I had $50, right, that might help me out this month and stuff. So it's that right opportunity, right? That right moment when I have that extra money that I can mail off these walking sticks. I have Karen's walking stick too also. Well, hers is a cane. Hers is more of a cane. And Owen's is a walking stick that once he's ready for a cane, that he'll be able to take an inch off the bottom and slap on a claw, and he's got himself a good cane too, right? But yeah, I've been looking for a piece of wood for Andrew through the storm the couple of times that I went up to Assiniboine Forest, because I promised Andrew that I would make him a walking stick. And also I have Nancy's magic wand, right? And I haven't been working on Nancy's magic wand in the past. That maybe that was something I could have done this week. I was really pretty hard on myself this week, right? Because I knew I had the week off and I was taking it as rest. I even took a nap this week that I actually, in the middle of the afternoon, I was just so exhausted that I just clothes and everything. I just crawled back underneath my blankets and went to sleep for a few hours, right? I needed it. I know I pushed it, but that's my guilt, right? That's guilt and shame, not thinking I'm doing enough, not working hard enough. There's a little bit of that drive that, because I'm with the entrepreneurs, I feel that I need to have that momentum all the time. I always have to have that hustle, drive going on. And I try to keep up, but I got to remember I'm 60 years old, right? That I'm 60 years old, and I'm not using that excuse, because I plan on doing this well into my 90s. Like, seriously, I plan on living to be 114 years old. And I think to my dying breath, if I have the opportunity to stay live, to do my live shows, oh, how amazing that would be, that we could do this right to the very end, right? Right to the very end. We know it's not always possible, right? Life kicks us in the butt every once in a while, but we make those efforts, right? Just like Nancy made that effort tonight, just popped in quickly just to say hi, send us her love and everything, right? Knowing that she didn't have a lot of data going on. Hopefully she was here when she heard about my data story, because, oh boy, I'm just dreading to see what my phone bill was going to be. But it was my mistake. I didn't have my Wi-Fi on. So it was my mistake going live and having that permission on my Instagram to use my phone data. And so it's turned off now. It won't happen again now. But the thing is, if I had upped my plan, I wouldn't get that big bill this month, right? But it was their opportunity to kind of push a new plan on me that would cost me another $50 to change the plan. But not only that, charge me an extra $50 every month for the extra data that I probably would never use, because I don't use a lot of data. I don't make any phone calls, to tell you the truth. Once every couple of weeks, I'll phone my sister. But otherwise, a few texts and yeah, I don't use my phone for anything really, except for my live shows. I do my live shows and check my banking and stuff like that, right? I do use my phone, right? I do use my apps and stuff like that, but not heavy duty, not like most people do. There quite often I'll do my live show and I won't even go back onto my phone the whole day, the whole evening, right? And then I'll just go and double check to make sure that I've got enough power on the phone, and then it's just good for the next day. So yeah. Thank you, Andrew. But like I said, this is small. This is not a walking stick. This will not cost me $50 to send off, right? I can afford a $10 bill. And I know you'll love this. I loved it. I hope you loved this. I thought it was amazing. And I know you love Jesus. And it's very, it has a very Picasso feel, doesn't it? Like, I think it was like made from like the 1970s, but I just thought it was odd that they did the same scene twice, right? So they could have done one scene and then maybe did a different scene, maybe Christ on a cross or something like that, right? But for whatever reason, maybe these were like items, tourist items, right? Maybe from, Billy Graham convention or something like that. And this is all they had were Mother Mary's and Jesus's. And so he just said, I'll take two, please. I'll take two. And that's why I'm sitting here with two of these, with two of these things. But the colors are amazing. The colors are amazing. They're wood. They're little pieces of chipped wood that have been inlaid and then carved and then painted, right? And then there's clear coat. There's clear coat all over it because it's kind of yellowed out now. That's why I'm thinking it's probably from the 70s or so. Yeah, so let's see what else is going on here. Oh, Dave's here. Hi, Dave. I hope everybody's week is going really, really good. Whose birthday was it, Andrew? Owen, was it your birthday? And you never said anything. And Owen, 62? You're 62 now? How old will I be this year? I'm going to be 60. See, I had to think. I'm going to be 60 this year. This October, you guys. I'm 59 years old. I'm going to be 60 this year. It's funny, right? I don't physically feel like I'm 60. Well, if you'd asked me earlier in the week, I might have said so because I was pretty bagged this week. Like, I felt like a truck had run over me this week. Like, I truly felt like I was just got run over by a truck. I just needed to collapse. But at the same time, I was feeling guilty. So I was trying to get things done. I got a little bit done, cleaned out some closets and stuff. But for the most part, it was the lessons. Holy moly, did I take in some lessons this week. Oh, I don't know if anybody out there watches any Jordan Peterson. He's one of these real big thought leaders out there. But, he's been coming back online and having some really good discussions. I love his content because he makes them like conversations. And it's kind of like the way that I like to work too, is by having conversations. Because when you have conversations, you can get into a conversation. And if it's a good conversation, the person that you're talking to is going to relax, right? Is going to relax. And more of their personality and that unguardedness will come out in the conversation. And you get better insight into people this way, right? You can better scope them out, feel them out, and see where the issues lie, right? And it's not like you want to look at everybody like they're a patient, right? But I have that understanding that everybody has issues, right? And for me, my giving back, because I'm a true believer that we all have to contribute to the world. We all have to, be of service, add a little bit of good to the world, to that big cake mix of the world, to add a little bit of goodness, a little bit of our own ingredients to that recipe, right? So out. I got an itchy toe here. I think I got a bed bug. I've been searching for it. I don't know where it is. And I don't know. I don't think it could be possibly more than one because I would have spotted it by now because I've been desperately looking for it. But I am getting bit by something at night, right? I am getting bit by something. It could be the detergent that I'm using. I did buy some cheap detergent, right? And I know I shouldn't because it's not good for the environment. And I know that it doesn't clean clothes properly. They just add some pretty... Oh, you guys, downstairs and we get free laundry in this building that I live in. Part of it, I think, is because this building does have a bed bug problem. So they figure that if they give people free laundry, people will keep their clothes clean and it will minimize the the bed bug issue in the building, right? But there was one guy down there, and he's collecting bags of clothing, backpacks, and garbage bags full of clothing from the homeless people, right? And then he's been using those machines to wash the homeless people's clothing. Now, I wonder if all that pine salt, because he uses pine salt to wash their clothes. He doesn't use laundry soap, I guess, because the homeless clothes have smell so bad or something. I don't know. But he uses this lilac fresh pine salt for doing people's laundry, and then he just washes laundry all day. You know, he probably charges $5 or $10 to wash and fold laundry once a week for these people, right? Which is maybe not $10. Nobody would charge a homeless person $10 to do laundry, but $5 a load. And this is pure profit, because all the guy's got to do is buy his bottle of pine salt, and that bottle of pine salt is probably good for 20 or 30 loads of laundry, right? But if he makes $5 a load off of these homeless people, they're keeping their clothes clean, right? But I'm wondering if the chemicals from pine salt is being an irritant when other people are doing their laundry in those machines, right? So I'm just keeping an eye. I'm pretty certain I must have a bed bug in here, or a spider, but I've never seen anything. You know, when I sweep my floors and everything, I sweep it all into a corner in my kitchen. And every time I go into my kitchen, I look at the pile, right? Because you want to see if there's anything moving in the pile, right? That's a good way of seeing if you've got bugs in your house and stuff, right? But yeah, I do have I'm scratching one right now, and that I got a couple of days ago. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's the detergent or if I actually do have bed bugs. But what you think about is realized, and lots of times we cause ourselves to have these issues, right? I have an itchy nose. I have an itchy nose. If it was just me here, I'd be stuffing a Kleenex up my nose right now. I might do it anyway if it keeps bothering me. But wow. I can't believe Andrew is keeping up with, oh, look, it's Angry Birds fans conversation. Like, he's very detailed in his conversations and stuff, and Andrew's just giving her, right? And he caught on that he's talking about sirens, so that's good. I know that he's talking about sirens, right? But yeah, heavy duty conversations. Companies, if your nose itches, company's coming. I know somebody told me that if you have an itchy palm, it's good luck, right? Because I've been scrubbing my hand, right? Because again, I'm thinking that I've got bug bites, but I learned that one because I used to go to bingo on Saturday nights with my sister, right? I don't even do bingo anymore, you guys. I haven't bought a lottery ticket. I haven't put 25 cents into a gambling machine. I haven't played Poker Stars. I haven't played the free video slots. No video games at all. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself that I don't even give a thought anymore to gambling. Like, it's amazing. So grateful. Like, that's a gift in itself, because I was blowing a lot of money, right? A big part of the situation that I had gotten myself into financially was because I had become a compulsive gambler, right? And then I don't even know how long it's been now. I never even kept track. I'm thinking it's been almost 2 years. If I'm thinking correctly, it's been almost 2 years, because I remember the last time I gambled was like the day after my sister's birthday or something a couple of years ago, and her birthday was in August, right? We're getting close again. So yeah, it's been almost 2 years. It's been almost 2 years for me. I'm so grateful. That was just a scary situation, and it was so easy to get hooked on, What? Well, I guess it's for the same reason why people do lottery tickets, right? Just on the chance, right? Because they believe in luck, right? And my dad believed in luck, right? And I'm sure he did win lots. Otherwise, he wouldn't have continued on with that. But I think also in my dad's mind, he thought that was the way the universe was giving him his abundance, right? That my dad was actually gaining his abundance through gambling, which was, a limiting belief on my dad's part, I think, right? My dad's part. But at the same time, it might have been something he was hoping on, right? And my dad was, my dad was a big gambler, right to the very end. He was. He never got to be around when the video lottery terminals came out. Those came out shortly after my father passed away. My dad would have been glued to those. But the casinos were here, and my dad did a lot of gambling, and I gambled lots too, right? But I don't know if I was my father's daughter and I was doing it out of the warm memories of my father. Maybe I thought it was okay to gamble because I idolized my dad, and nothing that my dad did could have possibly have been wrong, right? I don't know. Maybe I found, because I did have those tendencies, right? Because addictions run in families, right? In my family, there was alcoholism, right? My grandfather was a terrible, terrible alcoholic. My dad's father was a terrible, terrible alcoholic. And I remember him always, trying to quit and put his life back together. And then he'd fall back and become like my dad or grandfather was such an alcoholic. He was one of those downtown people. He would live in the bus shacks and stuff like that, right? So, alcoholism run in my family. My dad wasn't a big drinker, but when he did drink, he never drank in front of the kids. Now, in saying that, I remember sitting underneath the table when my aunts and my nanny and my relatives would get together and they would drink beers and stuff. But I don't think those were social occasions, right? Those weren't something that he did like every single day. It was just like every once in a while when somebody would come to visit and he'd have these gatherings, then they would pull out the alcohol then. And then that would be the only time I would actually see my dad drink alcohol, right? But yeah, we all have addictions. We all have compulsions. We all do. And you guys can say you're saints and you've got it all together, right? You don't have any of these, but you have your own limiting beliefs. You have your own problems that you struggle with. Everybody does, right? But yeah, gambling was one of mine. And when I think about my progress, I don't give it too much thought anymore because it's not a part of my life, right? Gambling is not a part of my life anymore. And the only reason I even mentioned it was the fact that, I don't know, we were talking about something and, the last time I gambled, and yeah, not even a lottery ticket, right? Not even a lottery ticket. And, I wouldn't even bet somebody at work, I'll bet you 50 cents. I wouldn't even do that. Gambling is just not going to be allowed in my life anymore, right? As close to gambling as I am going to get is striving in my goals, only because I know failures happen when you reach and go for big goals in life. That lots of times we kind of fail in some of those aspects because our dreams are so big, right? Our goals are so big and we're trying things that we've never tried before, right? So failing is huge. So unless you're willing to take a hit, unless you're willing to get up, right? Every time you fall to the ground, that you're able to just get up and keep going. Wow. I just taking a look here. Everybody, come on. Tell me what's been going on with your week. I know I have been I have been trying to be careful, but as of late, and I think it's kind of a sign too, I haven't been so great because I have been wasting money on treats because we know treats are expensive. It costs $5 for a pack of donuts or a box of cookies or, anything that you buy that is out of the realm of your regular grocery budget, right? Those are treats, and all of those things cost money. And I was wasteful in that manner. So I haven't been doing really, really good on saving the money. I have been good at finding little doodads and things at work and giving them to my sister and letting my sister hold on to the money once she sells them and stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that process and that I am putting money away that way. But I'm also worried a little bit because I've left my shelves short because I didn't put anything away for a rainy day. I took a week off, or didn't have a choice. We were shut down for a week at work, and now I don't have any money to get me through this next week. And on top of that, well, the rent is due, right? I have to pay the rent, and I have a bus pass for the month that I'm going to have to purchase. And on top of that, I'm going to have to restock the cupboards with some groceries and stuff. So I don't know how it's possible for me not to dig into my savings this week. I just might have to. I'm going to do everything I possibly can not to. I'll see what my paycheck is like. Maybe I'll pay less taxes because, the check is in half. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see if Cindy can manage. I know things will work out. No matter what, things will work out. And if I failed, I failed. And that's no fault of mine. Those are circumstances, and those are acceptable, right? Because we got to remember that we learn more from our mistakes sometimes than we do from our successes. I'm saying it again, right? And maybe that's what the lesson is that, okay, Cindy, you need to put $500 away just in case something happens, and you need to be able to keep up on the roof over your head, right? Keep up on a few groceries in the cupboard, keep that internet going, right? Right? So yeah, some of these things that I have to keep in mind. And those are the lessons we get when we fail in certain aspects, right? And if you just take it as a lesson, learn from it, and try not to do it again, right? So now I'm just going to try and put a little bit of money away just in case it happens again. And I'm going to try really hard not to touch into my savings, right? That is for a vehicle. Of course, it's not going to pay for a $67,000 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, right? Unlimited 2021, right? It's not going to pay for that vehicle, but it will get me something, right? Even if I would be happy, even if I could take a trip, take a week or two off and go digging and go camping and go digging for amethyst, right? Go digging for amethyst. I want to go to Thunder Bay. I want to go back to Ontario. I want to get back into those mountains. I want to see that scenery again. I want to touch Mother Nature. I want to go and dig for amethyst. I do. I want to do a little bit of mining. I want to see. Right, you guys would buy an amethyst off of me, wouldn't you? If I came back with a big box full of amethysts and I washed them and they were all beautiful, I'm sure everybody out there would help to support my channel by buying an amethyst from me, right? So that's what we're going to do. So at the very least, if I don't get my vehicle, at the very least, I'm going to take a week off. I'm going to rent a vehicle. And that way I'll still be able to save for my trip, right? Because I won't need as much if I'm just renting a vehicle for the week. But wouldn't it be nice if I could afford to buy a new car? Wouldn't it be nice if I could have my Jeep Rubicon? That would be really nice. I would be really happy for that. But yeah, everybody, I'm getting my vaccine tomorrow morning, 11:30 tomorrow morning. I know it's just going to be another day. Like, I'm going to have a sore arm tomorrow, maybe. Let's pray Cindy doesn't have a reaction, right? Because I filled out that form and it asked me if I have reactions to vaccines, right? I got a flu shot. I'm assuming the flu shot is like a vaccine, and I And I'm pretty certain that I do have reactions with those flu shots, but this is my life. And I'm making an executive decision to try one more time, have this vaccine, and just be optimistic. Be optimistic that I'm not going to have a reaction. Because the last 2 times that I got my flu shot, I did have a reaction. And those reactions, one of those reactions lasted 11 months, and another one of those reactions lasted 9 months. Very, very painful. It was really hard to function even. So yeah, we're confident. We're confident this time. Cindy's going to take her multivitamin tonight. She's going to drink lots of water, right? Because that could have been a part of it too, that I wasn't hydrated enough when I took that flu shot. And that's a very good point. That's a very good point. So I'm going to make sure that I take in lots and lots of fluids tonight, lots of fluids tomorrow morning, so that I do get my flu shot. I bet you that's what it was, right? That I was dehydrated when they gave me my shots last time. It never even crossed my mind, but it just crossed my mind just now, and it crossed my mind for a reason. So yeah, taking in the fluids, taking in some extra fluids, and I'm sure I'm going to be absolutely okay. But what were you saying, Andrew, about your work? Are you taking your vaccine, Andrew? Are you going to be taking your vaccine so that you can keep your job? You're using a walker to get around. So these are more expenses. Did the hospital supply the walker for you to borrow? Or did you have to cough up that money for a walker, Andrew? I'd be interested to know that. If you don't know, if it's okay that I tell them, Andrew got a staph infection. For those of you who don't know, he's just recovering from a staph infection. I'm going to assume that those antibiotics that you've been taking, Andrew, have been doing the trick and have been making you feel a little bit better. I can't believe you never missed any of my live. No, he never missed any of my live shows. He watched them right from the hospital, right? Never missed anything. My head moderator. I just love Andrew to death. But you know what? Take care of yourself before you start taking care of anybody else, right? But yeah, I'd like to know whether or not the hospital is supplying you with that walker, like just something for you to borrow and you can just turn it back without a cost to you, because anything to help you out right now. I know you've been helping Nancy out, Andrew. So and I know that's put a strain on you, and you've been helping your brother out, right? Like, we're all grateful that you're here with such a giving heart, but you got to remember, but you can't take care of anybody unless you take care of yourself. So we're really hoping that you're taking care of yourself. Really? When was your birthday, Andrew? Oh, you guys know I'm going to make a big deal about birthdays. That's why you don't tell me until they're over. Ellen's here. Hello, Ellen. Ellen is one of the gentlemen that joined me in Toronto during Evan Carmichael's Thought Leadership Academy, and yeah, it was an amazing experience. I wish it had carried on in some fashion afterwards, right? But yeah, the coronavirus started, and yeah, nobody really kept in contact. But it's really nice that every once in a while, the people that I attended this function, it was an amazing week. One of the best experiences of my entire life. Well, you guys heard me when I came back from Toronto, how I raved about it. I'll never, ever forget that trip. I'll never forget the views. I'll never forget the time I spent driving through the mountains. I'll never forget being up in the mountains, sleeping in the car, and having the clouds waft in through the windows and just hover over me. I'll never forget the stars and looking out at I'll never forget that entire experience, right? Driving there. I slept in the parking lot of a community center. I just parked my car there. I took a subway to the classes every morning. It was so much fun. I enjoyed every moment. I enjoyed every aspect of it. There was nothing about it that I didn't love, except for the fact that it wasn't long enough, that I couldn't stay there. Oh my goodness. Right? Now that would have been a change, right? If I had decided just to pack everything up and move to Toronto, that would have been a trip. That would have been a trip. That would have been bravery and courage, right? At the highest. I would have been truly proud of myself. I was proud of how I accomplished that trip to Toronto. I tell you, that was hairy, scary, and I tried to control it, and I reversed engineered that entire trip. And I was having a hard time letting go and letting the universe take care of me and make sure that I got that trip in and everything. And it happened anyway. And it was amazing. It was better than what I possibly could have dreamed up for myself. Everything just worked out perfect, right? Like, who would have thought, oh, Cindy, go take your car, park it in a community center parking lot. You can get up in the morning and you can go in and you can go for a swim, and then you can have a shower and you can get ready for your classes every day. Like, who would have thought of something like that? And I set up the back of my car like a camper, right? And I did that trip just knowing that when I got back that my sister was going to take the car away from me. I just knew it already. And that's exactly what happened. But then again, what you think about is realized, right? What you think about is realized. And I knew it. Like I knew her blood was boiling. And boy, when I was there, she was sending me the nastiest text. And I remembered, I just with everybody in my class, and they knew the situation that I was in, right? They knew that I was dealing with this stuff, but I didn't let it bother me during the whole trip. I think it was the night before I left that I actually had my first little conversation with her, right? And I kept it a secret right until I hit the road. I knew, I think 3 or 4 months before I actually, because I paid for it with a credit card, and I knew for 3 or 4 months before I actually went to Toronto that I was going to go to Toronto. And I did absolutely, because I knew my sister would stop me. I knew she would take the car. I knew I would make it there. She found out, and I was able to keep it a secret right up until I left. But soon as I left, I started posting about my trip on my way to Toronto. She found out within 5 minutes, right? Within 5 minutes, she's on me and she's texting me with the mean, nasty texts and everything like that. Somebody's yelling outside. Oh, this neighborhood, right? I used to live in this neighborhood probably maybe 30 years ago. When I first moved to Manitoba, I lived in an apartment block next to the apartment block I live in now. And I caretake that block, but I also caretake the block across the lane, right? So I was taking care of the 2 blocks. And it was a really nice neighborhood back then. But the homeless have increased here in Manitoba. There's more vulnerable in the neighborhood. As much as there's new housing, new apartments, like it's being upkept that way to keep the value of the land around here up there. But a lot of the old buildings have not been upkept, right? Have not been renovated, and they do look a little dilapidated, right? But it's the neighborhood, and we also have some northern community residences here, like little apartment blocks or care homes, for like when they have to fly into Manitoba, into Winnipeg from the northern communities. And so they stay in the city and they stay in these buildings here, right? And you know what? I never see any problems over there. Like they're not drunk, they're not partying over there, nothing, right? It's our own neighborhood that lets us down, right? Because, right, it's the vulnerable. And Now it's summer, right? They're not so worried that if they just have to sleep on the boulevard, they could sleep on the boulevard and it's not going to be a big deal. It's not like it's 40 below zero, and it won't be like that for a few months. And by then, the coronavirus, well, we'll have that all under control. But we're going to be moving into some other kind of mess after that, aren't we? I don't know what it is. It's going to be some kind of recession, people. I think it's also going to be a lot of disagreements, and I think we're coming out of that kind of warring era. I think our mindset is has come along far enough, and I think maybe even part of it is our new stage of evolution, because we're changing right now. These big changes are happening right now, and I think with some of these conversations that we're having and some of these issues that are coming to light, right? Like Black Lives Matter, and people not having jobs, and women wanting to be equal with men, right? Our education system, which sucks, which is the biggest problem ever. If they could fix the education system for the, not so much the big kids, but for the little kids, for the grade schoolers, for the little children, right? Kids are so impressionable right up until they're 7 years old. Like, they're being melded. Their values are already in place by the time they're 7 years old. And we all know not all parents have the best values. Not all parents have their children's best interest at heart, right? Their life first, their kids' life second, right? Lots of people out there put their kids first. And that's not to bring anybody else down, but at the same time, those people don't want their children playing with those people's children, right? So there's a little bit of segregation. I'm not going to say a little bit. There's a lot of segregation, a lot of recognizing of classes, right? And I was thinking about that yesterday, the different classes. Oh, I know what it was, right? The products that are available, the products, we all can go off and buy certain things. And we all have certain products that we refuse to buy, no name brand, right? Like lots of people, they love Heinz ketchup. They won't eat anything except Heinz ketchup, even though they know that they can get the no name brand ketchup for half the price. They're still going to pay twice the price because they love Heinz ketchup, right? So we all have those aspects of ourselves, those things that we won't give up, those things that those quality products that we want to keep for ourselves, but we sacrifice in other products that we would like to have too. And being in a lower social status, financial situations, that, I was talking about underwear the other day, right? I lost a lot of weight last year. I lost about 70 pounds last year. And before that, well, that I used to weigh 311 pounds. So in total, I've lost like 160 pounds, right? In all that time. And this last time I lost the weight, well, at the same time, I got myself in that financial situation, that hairy, scary. I was having problems with my relationships with my sister, and making discoveries about myself, and still moving myself forward, and still trying to save my brand. Oh my goodness, my life was I hate to say that word, disaster, because sometimes you got to make a mess to clean a mess. And I think that's the situation that I was in, right? Because my life was a total mess, and I purposely disarrayed the whole thing. I tore that whole life of mine apart, and I'm just now starting to put it together. I think I made some good choices in the past year, not things that would move me drastically in the improvements in my life, though it did, right? But got me on the right path, right? Getting into that mentorship program, right? Getting the courage up, fixing the mindset that I was brave enough to understand, and had the knowledge to understand that I couldn't do it on my own, that I needed some help, right? That my life had fallen apart, that I had crashed so low that I couldn't pull myself up anymore, that I needed help to get up, right? That I was able to go and seek out, let my pride go down, get on the system, right? Let the government take care of me. Let the government be a parent for a little while, help me get back on my feet, get me into that mentorship program, dedicate and that was all me. They accepted me into the program, but me staying in the program was 100% on me, right? Congratulations to me that I had the balls, that I had the courage, I had the bravery and the smarts to know that this was the best thing for me, right? And I had to stick with it no matter what. And I did. I was never late. I made it to every single class, right? All through the coronavirus, right? That coronavirus was going on at the time. And it got me a full-time job throughout the entire coronavirus. I was working full-time. When I could have been making more money on the assistance, right? That I could have been making more money on the assistance. But my emotional well-being, it was all about getting better. It was all about moving forward. It was all about feeling good about myself, because once I could start feeling good about myself, and this is what I needed. I'm not talking about emotionally feeling good, even though that happened too, right? Or financially feeling good, but feeling good because I did it, right? That I persevered, that I didn't give up, that I just kept going, right? And, I got to keep reminding myself, right? That's why it's important sometimes that, you got to look at the past, right? Because again, these are things that happen, just like, not recognizing that, Cindy, it's been a couple of years now. You haven't gambled. You don't even give it a thought anymore. You don't have that craving anymore, right? That craving, like it's just 100% dead. You won't even do a lottery ticket anymore, right? You won't say, I bet you, even to anybody at work or anybody you wouldn't play that game. Cindy, amazing. That was destroying your life. You saved yourself there, right? You saved yourself there, right? So it's important to look at the past, because now I'm looking at putting myself through that mentorship program and how I stuck out with it and just holding on to this job, because to represent this organization that invested so much in me, I have to reciprocate, right? I have to reciprocate, because I can't really do anything, because to move on without it hurting them a little bit, I think, because their funding comes from the government, and part of that funding is determined on whether or not I can keep this job for a year, right? So I started in September. I was given this job in September. I might be given credit for a couple of months before that, right? So it could mean that I'm coming up on it really fast, because we gave hours, right? We worked for free and it was part of the assistance that we were getting and everything while we were going to classes and while we were doing the work practicum. I didn't get paid for my work practicum, and that was like 6 weeks of work too. So it may mean that year is coming to an end, like very, very shortly, right? So I will have held up my end of the bargain, right? And it's not like they said I had to. If another opportunity arose and I took it, right? But I like what I'm doing. I like my little job in the thrift shop, and it's not that 7-digit a year job. But you know what? It's fun. The people I work with understand me. They accept me, flaws and all, right? And I try really hard not to have a lot of flaws. But at the same time, I practice mindset. I practice mindfulness. And it's curious that there are so many woke people at my job that I can have company, that I can have these important conversations with the people I work with, and they understand me, that they get me, that I don't have to feel like I'm going through this journey all by myself. And they all know that I'll be moving on, right? They all know that I'm not a forever employee there, right? But, if my dreams didn't work out the way I wanted to, I would have no problem staying there, and I would be very grateful, and I would be very happy to keep that job, right? But I did that myself that whole last year. The good, the bad, that's all on me. The credit, the fault, that's all on me, right? And I came out of it. I came out of it a better person. I came out of it still with my channel without missing one single live, right? That I was here every single week, right? I kept my word to myself, right? And that makes me happy. It makes me proud. Makes me proud of myself. And it shows me as an example, right? Because lots of times I can come in here and I could yap, right? Give my advice and right, because that's what Cindy does. She yaps, right? And I'm a true believer in lessons, and I yap about my lessons, hoping that somebody else might grab onto it and take the lesson themselves and benefit from it, right? It's what I do, right? And I'm not going to apologize for that because that's the way I am, right? And you wouldn't be here right now if you didn't appreciate that part of me too. I know you're all waiting for the Outdoor Explorers too. It's coming. But that's part of it. That's all of it, right? It's just living my life by my new standards for myself, living my life through my values, living my life by chasing after my dreams and going after my goals, right? And living my life as an experience for other people to watch so that they can be a spectator in my life, right? And see what I'm doing for myself and then maybe make those decisions themselves to maybe try to make it a little bit of an improvement on their life, right? To make a little bit of goodness for all the troubles, right? Because you guys, you're caregivers, right? You give. And I know that there's not a lot of, right? You know that you give to the world. You know that you're givers, right? But when you don't get recognition for that, when it becomes that people have expectations that you're going to be the caregiver, right? That you don't really have a choice. So that the only person that actually appreciates what you do is yourself, right? Is that you're the only one in know. And that could be discouraging. That's why caregivers get an automatic in, right? Because they give and they sacrifice their caring. They're in service. They spend their whole life in service, taking care of their loved ones, whether it's your parents or your siblings, right? The people you know, the friends you make along the way. It's a hard life being a caregiver. You give up a lot of yourself being a caregiver. And even though it's an automatic in, right? Because it is service, you're sacrificing a lot. You're sacrificing your happiness. You're sacrificing your life. You're sacrificing the opportunities for marriage and babies, adventures, right? Adventures. And maybe that's why we all wait for Cindy to get back on the road, just so that you can vicariously, right? Explore and adventure with me, right? And that's exactly why I went and started YouTube to start with, wasn't it? Right? So that you guys, and back to the beginning of the conversation, just so that you guys could have that experience of me walking through the fields and walking through that calmness, right? That history, that interest that we all have in common, right? That we could all experience it together. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back on the road. I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm convinced that it's going to happen, right? Miracles happen. I'm looking outside my window right now for that Jeep Rubicon, right? Wrangler 2021 with the big bull bars and the strip lighting and the silver chrome steps and the big tires. Oh, yeah, you keep me waiting. The list of accessories for that truck is just going to get longer and longer. But I look out my window, right? Expecting I'm going to see that truck with a big bow on it. And I'm going to know it's mine. I'm going to know it's for me, right? Because I believe, right? I believe, and it may sound silly to some people, but that's why I live my life, right? And that's why I'm online, and that's why I share everything, so that when it does happen, you guys will just, it'll blow your guys' mind, and you will all be on that Cindy train. But I know you're on that Cindy train already. I know you guys are. You guys are such, you treat me so good. You treat me so good. And I'm so grateful to have you guys here every Sunday night, like clockwork. I would miss you terribly if you weren't here, but I would also understand, right? I am grateful for the time that you guys give me on Sundays. Yeah. And it's 9 o'clock already. Sydney started yapping an hour and a half, and look at it goes by so fast. Doesn't it go by fast? If you give me the thumbs up, YouTube will send my video out to other people. So maybe other people will get an opportunity to come in and have a chit chat and see what everybody has to say. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Alan, for popping into my lives, right? And you don't pop in very often, but it was very nice that you popped in and said hi, and brought up that nice reminder for me, right? Not to forget that trip. You know, we all have amazing moments in our life, right? And in times when things get tough, right? When things get sad, right? It's good sometimes to look at the past. I know lots of people say, you know, don't look at the past. It's too sad. It's too bad. But there are always moments. There are always special moments that you could bring up into the mind that will soothe that sad soul, right? That moment that you're having, that sense of anxiety. If you can allow that view, right? That view or that feeling in the moment that made you happy, so happy that maybe some of those sad moments and those uncomfortable moments could dissipate, right? Just from those great memories. Yeah. So I thank you, Ellen, for reminding me of my trip to Toronto, because it was amazing. And I look forward to doing lots more of those, right? Meeting some amazing, amazing people, shining my light where I know it will do the most good. Oh, I know it will do the most good, right? Right? My intuition has got me far. It's done me good. I don't know how, but I trust, and it works out. Everybody, thank you so much. I guess that's our live for tonight. We are all just babies, 100%. I am grateful. 59, I'm going to be 60 years old. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And we're all pretty the close age here too, aren't we? I don't know if I should, right? Because I'm supposed to be concentrating on my target audience, but my target audience is anybody who just wants to feel good, right? Who's not having a good day, needs to smile, right? Yeah. I'm thinking now, as I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, and yeah, a thought popped into my head that I just might have to give some thought to. Okay, everybody, I'm just going to take a look quickly at these last few comments here. And I hope everybody has a great week. Yes, definitely, Owen. And I've got a letter. It's about halfway written. I've got a letter halfway written to you. I saved it as a draft, and I started a couple of days ago, and I haven't gone back into it, right? But like I said, I had the week off, and I have been zapped this week. I have been zapped, and I'm not going to feel guilty. But yeah, I could have gotten a lot more done. I did. I could have gotten a whole lot more done than what I did. Okay, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you next Sunday. Andrew, you take care of yourself, dear, okay? Take care of yourself. I hope you're healing fast. And this is a good lesson for everybody, right? Good lesson for everybody. Stay healthy. I would miss every single one of you if anything ever happened to any of you guys, right? And we're at those those ages now. Boo-boos happen. Boo-boos happen. So not this week, right? Not on my call. Have a great night. Bye-bye.